What's good, everybody? The ambassador here with Theme Park ERT, and we're back for another Enthusiast Roundtable, episode number 9, actually. And with number 9, we wanted to expand our internationalness of the roundtable even more. We have a very, very special guest. While he's been a Walibi Holland celebrity for years, an advocate for the Coaster Kids Thrills United movement, and friend to all coaster and theme park enthusiasts that visit, most of the world recently were introduced to him and his smiling face during the building of the RMC Untamed video series. Please join me in welcoming the enthusiast all the way from the Nederland. It's Scott Bravenboer. Scott, how's it going, man?
Hello, goedenavond.
Goedenavond. So excited to have you. Thank you so much. And like I said, man, you want to talk about somebody who is the enthusiast. You're going to talk about Scott, because you have just such this passion, this excitement for roller coasters and for theme parks and amusement parks that is just addictive. So that, I mean, I was introduced to you through these video series of the Untamed, the converting of Robin Hood into Untamed. Can you tell us a little bit about your background? How did you get started? Like what ignited that spark in you, Scott?
Well, it's theme parks and fun fairs have always been a passion for me. Since I was a little kid, my mom got annoyed and said, "Oh, you want to go to the theme park again? Oh, and to a fun fair, it costs a lot of money. We don't go there." And I always wanted to go there. And I think when I was 8 or 9, I said to my mom, "I want to work with roller coasters or rides or with a fun fair or a theme park." And that's where it started. And yeah, I made the dream come true.
So how like, was your first job at Walibi itself, or were you somewhere else before?
My very first job was spreading commercial flyers to houses in the neighborhood. And then I worked as a concierge at a newspaper. That was really boring. And obviously I worked at a supermarket, because everyone works at a supermarket at some time.
Yeah.
And after that, I went to then Six Flags Holland as a volunteer, building haunted houses for the Halloween Horror Fest.
Right.
That's what it was called back then. And yeah, I got the taste of it, and it was amazing. I sticked around and never ever left again. So that's now 16 years, almost 17 years.
Wow.
Working for the same company. So yeah.
Congratulations. And what titles have you held while you were there, and then through the transition to being Walibi?
Yeah, I have worked on every department, from the park cleaning to the F&B department, and that were a few days. But most of the time, I was a ride operator, and I was a costume character.
Nice.
So, and from there on, I went to hosting shows, the first of the kids shows, and then with Halloween some things, and then I got involved with all kinds of fun things. So yeah. There was never really an education for what I did. I all learned it, here in Biddinghuizen, the most beautiful place of the
Netherlands. And so, what's your title now at Walibi?
Events and production employee. That's my official title. But yeah, what's in the name?
Well, I still think it should be just super cool, awesome. Maybe the ambassador of Walibi. I would like that. That has a nice ring to it. I like the sound of that. But yeah, no, I like I said, this video series, and then it's like with anything on the internet, you start watching one thing and then it brings up suggestions from old things. And I'd spent I won't tell you how many hours. I just started watching all your videos, going all the way back with one with like where your mother came to visit, and you like that. Well, no, it's so, and I think that's what is so attractive, if I may say so, about your personality. It's just, you're so enthusiastic. That's why I just think that the term enthusiast was meant for you, because you're somebody that I want to emulate with just that passion, because it's just, like I said, it's so great. And I know that you've done a lot of really cool things for theme park and roller coaster enthusiasts while there at Walibi, things that, other parks just don't do what they should. The fact that you really kind of give them a red carpet treatment. the fact that you were letting them like sign Robin Hood and things like that. Where did that come from? Talk about like, what was your opening up to like more of the enthusiast community?
I think I don't only do that with enthusiasts. If there is a father with a little child and he's really enjoying the roller coaster and watching it, and the father explaining, they get the same treatment. And I think that's the most important thing to understand, is that when you visit a theme park, it's a special occasion always for everyone, because it's a different surrounding and you get away from all the daily stress around you. And to just give that little extra kick, I think for every theme park employee, that should be the trick. Just the little things. It's for me, it's not a lot of work to show the storage of lost gravity. It's, oh, here, have a look around. But that little thing makes it so special. And I know it makes it special because I was there. And when I got to look in the storage, I was like, oh, this is amazing. So yeah, I know what the impact is, and it's just normal for me. Yeah.
No, that's fantastic. Like I said, I think more parks should follow suit, because it's that small things. Like you said, just that small things like that can have such, who knows, you may be making the very next enthusiast just by that little small act of going the extra step. And I feel like a lot of times some parks, and we're not here to do park bashing, but I still think that there's some times where they just kind of lose sight of that. They kind of more see it's let's just see how many people is our ride capacity. Let's just focus on that rather than ride experience.
Yeah.
And I think that goes a long way. And so I really love that about the videos that I've seen you in, and talking with the enthusiast community, at least from the ones here in the United States that I know, and a few from England as well, about just a positive time that they have at least Walibi Holland, and hopefully all the other Walibi parks as well. But I think that, you're our guest. We're going to toot your horn. And basically because of you, Scott, all those, just that nice experience, and it's appreciated. So that being said, with your passion for coasters, you also have a passion for the haunt events too, because you said that you worked as a haunt character. You still do that?
Yeah, so what I do for events and production now is we have a team of 4 people. That's Bianca, Sebastian, Joyce, and me, and we are the event crew, let's say. And we get to come up with all the ideas for the Halloween Fright Nights. We get to produce everything for the Halloween Fright Nights. We do all the casting. We do all the crew management. We do the design of the houses. We do the design of the audio, and it's. I sometimes say it's like playing Roller Coaster Tycoon. There's something in your head. You have a blank sheet. You click everywhere. It's almost carte blanche, but not really, because there's always a manager and everything.
Right.
But we get so much free space to do what we think is best, and that's really amazing. To start with that blank sheet, go make the ideas, go make the drawing of the layout of a haunted house, for example, and then in 4, 5, 6 months, seeing it build up, and then it's becoming a real thing. That's really amazing. And I love haunted houses. I always have. When I was a little kid, I wanted to ride the that they're now the boring haunted houses with the zigzag, and then you go through the doors.
Yeah.
I love that, and now I get to build that same experience that I loved as a kid. So that's pretty cool. Obviously, it's way more creepy, and it's 16 years and up. So it's yeah. But it's really good. It's really awesome to see, because when you're at a haunt event, or when you're at the exit of a haunted house, the emotion you see on the guest face when they exit the house is such a big emotion. You don't have to be an expert to see the emotion on the face. You can see the smiles on the face because they were scared the shit out of themselves.
Right.
And it's really fun to see that, and to see the people appreciate all the work you put into it. And that can make my day.
Yeah, it's got to be a satisfying feeling right there.
Yeah.
Right.
It is. And for a stupid reason, because I didn't build Untamed, but the first day when people exited Untamed, it was the same big emotion, because it was such a great ride and everyone was smiling. It was like, oh my God, this is the best coaster ever. And yeah, I slept really good that night.
Well, I know you say you didn't build it, but you did have a lot of creative influence on some small Easter eggs with that ride, if I remember correctly. Can you talk about your favorite one influence that made it into the final design?
I think I think you know what you're aiming for, and it's a little coincidence, because what Walibi is trying to do, because I'm not Walibi, I know what Walibi is
Right.
going to do. They call it festivalization. Every theme that we're putting on a themed area in the park, which we are replacing and rebuilding and remodeling, retheming in nerd language.
Sure.
We call it festivalization. So you go to a theme park, obviously, because there are rides and everything, but we want to give you a feeling of going to a festival, like going to Coachella or going to Burning Man. So that's the feeling we want to give you when you walk around in the park. And I saw a lot of enthusiasts when we put up the big sign on the lift hill that says love, and everyone was like, why is there love on the lift hill? And now everything is overgrown and the wood started to get the color it should have, and all the green stuff is growing everywhere. Now it makes sense. Now you're walking around that, oh, it's a festival. And when it said be brave, that's really a coincidence, but that was the first thing in my mind when I saw the drawings of the station building. I was like, that's the slogan for Coaster Kids. I have to make a video about that. So that's really cool. And you have to be brave. It's I don't know what it is in we use the metric system. You don't. I don't know why you still do that, but okay.
I don't.
You have to be 1.20 meters to ride Untamed, so you can be like 8 years old to ride it. You have to be brave to conquer such a roller coaster. So that's a spirit there to go do it. Be brave. Go ride it.
Right.
You will be fine.
Absolutely. And I think that's an excellent thing with lowering the height requirement for that ride, because, it's something that looks intimidating, the ride itself. But when, like you said, a young enthusiast or even an older enthusiast sees that height requirement, they go, well, you're right. Maybe this isn't as bad as you think. And with RMCs, they're just so smooth. They're so smooth and they're so fun. And speaking of that smiling thing at the end of a ride, like you talked about, or at the end of a roller coaster, haunted house, pardon. Every RMC that I've ridden, I have come off with a smile. Now, there's roller coasters I come off with not a smile, where I'm like, holy cow, that was amazing. But I think RMCs are just smile machines. That's what they are. And
it's non-stop action. With us, when you exit the station, it has the outward bank corner. Then the lift, when you look out, we have a big festival ground on the left when there's a festival happening. Maybe you've heard of it, Lowlands. It's one of the biggest festivals in the Netherlands. And when you're climbing the lift hill, you see Lowlands in the distance, you see the queue, you see the rest of the ride, and then you drop down. And from there on, it's non-stop action until the end. I'm most of the time when I haven't rode Untamed for a few days, and I do it again at the end of the week, I'm out of breath at the end of the ride. It's really crazy. It's like, now I'm going to rant about Untamed. I don't know if every RMC has that, but there's no place in the train where you can hold on with your hands. Yes. So you have to throw them in the air or do something with them. And I think that adds to the experience so much. Well,
I think Alan Schilke knew what he was doing when he designed those trains. Yes, it's like on the side, just a small little strap on the side that's almost invisible. You can't see them, especially if you're on that seat that's in between the trains.
That's just for
really nothing to hold up to.
That's just for the maintenance people to carry the cars off.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah, it's not for
one on each end.
You're right. And I just love where roller coaster design is going now. I mean, roller coaster design's always been something that's fantastic, but now even more than ever, I talked about this before, where there used to be a coaster wars, like let's do the highest, tallest, fastest, whatever, and that's gone away. Now I think the new war is who can make the best elements, make them like the best. So RMC came out of the gate and said, we're going to make this thing called a stall. Now it's in your court. And so now we see a few roller coasters, say like from Intamin. Intamin's building one in Parc d'Astrix, and also one here in the United States called Pantheon. We're about the similar, that they've now got a stall. So Intamin's coming out going, okay, we see you, RMC. We're gonna see if we can make ours a little bit better than yours. Yeah. And I don't know if you've been following, but recently in Universal Studios in Orlando,
wow,
the new
that
Jurassic
roll
Post
looks Oh my God!
Right?
Yeah,
So
that must be insane.
that wasn't really on anybody's radar. And all of a sudden these pictures
That,
come out of
yeah,
art like rolling over.
that's my second anticipated now, besides Pantheon. It's like, I
So
don't know. Now they're back and forth at this point. It's like,
This
yeah.
makes it a little more bearable that Dueling Dragons is gone.
Yes,
We'll make
exactly.
up for it.
It will
I
make
love
up for
that
it.
ride.
Yeah, that's one of those things a lot of people were upset at. I mean, I've heard Hagrid's is good. I've never been on it yet, but people do miss Dueling Dragons.
Yeah, it was amazing, and especially when they dueled, that was the most crazy thing I've ever done.
Right.
Like it being in the front seat and with the loops,
Right.
it was crazy.
Right. I think the only thing that compares to it now is there's that new Intamin in China called Dueling Dragons. It's also called Dueling Dragons, strangely enough. It's like where it's like there's like it's like a sit down coaster on top and then like that.
Yeah. A fun thing is, one of my colleagues who worked for our technical department, that was like 6 or 7 years ago. He left the company to go work for Vekoma, and that was the first model that they built of that type of ride. So he got to fly over there and work on that ride, and he was sending me all kinds of pictures. Oh, look at that! Look what they're doing. That was really cool to see.
So cool. As I said, it's just like an exciting time to be an enthusiast rider, or even a brand new enthusiast. Or maybe an enthusiast that's taken a break for a while. Come on back. Look what's going on around the world. It's amazing. That being, with that, Scott, what is one of your bucket list roller coasters or a park that you would love to ride?
Oh, that's easy. My bucket list park is Cedar Point, and my bucket list ride would be Kingda Ka.
Ah, really?
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. So is that Great America, Great Adventure? What's the
Great Adventure?
Great Adventure. So those two parks, Great Adventure and Cedar Point, I would love to go there. And actually, it was almost planned out for this year, but something strange came along, and we didn't get to go. But yeah, I really want to go there. Yeah.
And so so Kingda Ka. I have not ridden that coaster either, but I have ridden its little baby brother, Top Thrill Dragster, and I can tell you that is an experience. It is an experience for sure. It's short, but there's nothing like sitting. Have you been on have you been to have you done like Red Force or Stealth or anything like that over
yeah, well, recently I went to Thorn Park for not for Stealth, we went for the Halloween event, but I rode Stealth, and that launch is incredible.
Right. So when you're sitting there, and I think that actually Kingda Ka's launch is even a longer amount of time, and you're just sitting there waiting and you're looking up, there's nothing like that. Like that is and then when you do launch and then you come and when everything's done, it's exciting. But I still think the scariest part of the ride is the moment before you sit on the train.
There's
you're like,
no way back. You're
looking at the exit and you're looking at the train and you go, once I sit down, there's no backing out. Yeah. Oh, that's cool. That's cool. Yeah, it's a bucket. I've been to Cedar Point, but yes, definitely Great Adventure is a big bucket list for me, for Kingda Ka, for El Toro.
El Toro, yeah.
I mean, you've got Colossus over there in Germany, which is a similar prefab, but
they have the Jersey Devil coming.
Oh, yeah, that's right. The Jersey Devil single rail coaster from RMC. That's going to be.
I love the train.
I know, isn't that?
Oh yeah, it's amazing.
That's really amazing. Cool.
It looks like the devil is eating the tracks.
Yeah, that's awesome.
So aggressive.
The guy who did the not the design but assembling and making all the technical stuff for the trains for Untamed also did that for that roller coaster. What's the name again? Devil.
The New Jersey Devil.
Jersey Devil.
Jersey Devil. He did that, and he was really proud of it, and he showed me the picture. So I knew what was coming. I was like,
oh, that's
the best train you ever had. That was really cool.
Well, I think Untamed is really cool too, at least for the general population. When that was finally unveiled, I think there was a lot of people kind of going, "Wait, what? Wow!"
Yeah. That was my reaction at first, because we and I told this before. We do when the park we have winter stops here. So when the park closes, the technical crew keeps working, the marketing department keeps working, and there are a few other people. So I get to work there in the winter as well. And then every month we do a lunch with everyone who's working. So we're all together. watching presentation from every department, and they tell, "No, we're going to sell this new teddy bear, or we're going to sell this new cheeseburger." And then the general manager Masha comes out, and then she tells something about the future of the park and what's going to happen. And then it was just a short moment. She said, "Oh yeah, and we're going to rebuild Robin Hood with an RMC. So yeah, that would be cool." Click, next slide. And I was like, "Hold up. Oh, wait a minute."
All the air gets sucked out of you.
Yeah, and I was really in my chair, and then she stopped the presentation. She said, "Scott, are you all right?" I said, "Yeah, you just told me we are going to RMC Robin Hood, and now my camera drops out." Even my camera got excited there.
Right.
And that was such an impressive moment. I was like, "Oh my God, it's really going to happen." And yeah, that was really special to hear. We're really gonna do it. So it's really special.
Whose idea was it to put the bears on there? Teddy bears.
that was my colleague Marco. He is the social media director of the park, and together we got to come up with. I don't know if you have seen the other videos. We launched cream pies with the SNS tower. We did a lot of fun things, and he was like, "Oh yeah, can we put the teddy bears? Maybe the hands or the ears will go up and down." And it looked really funny. And now it went all over the world, from China to the US. It was everywhere.
It's viral. It's gone all over. And the funny fact is, our park down here, Belmont in San Diego, they copied that idea. They
just
put
did it.
a bunch of stuffed animals. They weren't all the same one, but they put a whole bunch of stuffed animals on their what is it, a giant dipper?
The Big Dipper. So shout out to Belmont with their giant dipper roller coaster. It's like an old one, like an old 1920s wooden coaster there.
Cool.
So very cool that they copied it. So good on you. And
that was really cool. Yeah, it was Marco, and we're now we want to make it a series. So because now today we released a video. They wrote the wave swinger.
The swings. I saw the swings with the monkeys hanging on to the chains too.
Yeah, and we have
check out the video if you're
lots more ideas. Yeah, that's really cool. So we want to make a bunch more videos with the teddies.
Yeah, for
awesome.
sure. It's a clever idea. And also what was I going to talk about here? Oh yeah. You'd mentioned before about how travel is going to kind of been difficult, and I know you were alluding to this mystery pandemic.
We can speak about.
Right. I just wanted to talk about how's that affected Walibi, and how's it affected like the Netherlands or Europe and you personally?
Yeah, well, me personally, there was the moment the government said, okay, we're going to have, and they called it an intelligent lockdown because people have to think for themselves, but this is what we advise. And then the advice was go work at home. So I tried that for 30 minutes, and there was a bird in the garden picking with his, how do you call it, with his beak on the window, and I was distracted for 10 minutes. And then I was calling my boss. I said, this is not going to work for me. So I got to work back in the office, back in the park. So that was great. So for me personally, the only thing that was really annoying is that the park had to stay closed. We should have opened on April 4th, and we now opened on May 25th. So that was a delay of 2 months almost, and that was horrible. Everything was ready. It was just a few days before we should have opened. It was okay. You're not going to open. And everything was ready. All the coasters, the trains were on the tracks. Everything was done. The footpaths were all clean. The trash cans were out. One of the last things you do before opening. And then, it didn't happen. And that was really stupid. And for me personally, of course, there were no guests, so there was no happy time. But I knew all the seasonal employees. There was no work for them, and that was, I think, the most sad thing for me, like those poor guys. I love to see them. I love to have them hang around, and now they were not there and they were not making money, so that was really sad.
But you said May, they're opening back up in May. May
25th we opened again, so that was a really happy time. It's still difficult because we have to there are all kinds of measurements we have to take. So we have in queue lines, we have transparent screens, we have markings on the floor, obviously, and the capacity of the park is limited. So it's different. But one thing that was really cool, which we learned from all of this, is that we now have a virtual queuing system for all the big rides, for all the roller coasters, and that's a dream for everyone.
Right.
No, people come up and they say, "Oh, no, do I have to make a reservation for a ride? I don't like that." And then we explain, well, you make a reservation in the line, so you're standing in line without standing in line, so you can do something fun. Oh. And then they get to understand it, and now it works great. So that's something, yeah, we have to keep using, I guess.
Yeah, no, I think that's great. I like that. You know, there's an expression in English that says, "When life gives you lemons, make lemonade."
Yeah.
So looks like, you know, you've made the best of a situation, and you know, I know a lot of other parks in the U.S. are following the same type of system. So that's a great thing to come out of all of this. And it's also, like you said, there's a sense of community at a theme park that that you long for, and enthusiasts and guests long for that. And so I think it's okay if parks open up safely and, you know, require masks or whatever. I think that passion for people wanting to just have that community again will show up. They'll show up, and I'm grateful, you know, to be smart and make sure we do smart things. But at the same time, you know, I can understand what you're saying. Like, just looking around and just that there's a missing element. It's not alive. It needs to become alive, you know? Yeah. So I wanted to ask you, what is a fun, non-coaster, non-Walibi Holland, non-enthusiast fact about you, Scott?
Gosh. That's a difficult question, because my mind is with roller coasters and theme parks now. So I don't have to think. I don't know. That's a difficult question.
Wallaby executives, if you're watching, look at your faithful employee. Isn't he awesome? All he thinks about all day is rides.
No, but it's true. It's, you know, I go to work, and when you know, we have you have to take vacation days or weeks in the Netherlands. That's like 5 or 6 weeks you have to take off during the year. Yeah. I hate that. I really hate that. I'm like, when I'm not going on vacation to a different country, I'm like, well, is it over already? Because I just want to go back to my happy place. But yeah, I love my mom.
Yay!
Yeah, who doesn't? But
that's the best answer.
Yeah.
I was going to do something boring, like, what's your favorite movie? What's your favorite type of food? But that's boring stuff. Yeah. He loves his mom. He loves his mom. That's the best way to go about it. What did you get
my favorite movie is any horror movie, especially the really bad ones where you see the microphone dangling in screen. You know, I love that. And my favorite food is sushi.
Sushi.
I love sushi. I love it.
Yeah, same here. Have you any plans to go to Japan for the sushi first, and then some of their small little throwaway coasters later?
I want to make a trip somewhere in the future to all the countries over there, but to Japan, obviously Tokyo Disney Sea. I want to see it one day.
Yeah.
It's really expensive to go there, and I have to save up a little. So.
Yeah, it is.
Cedar Point goes first. Cedar Point goes first.
You will absolutely love Cedar Point. It's, you know, like I said, I went for the very first time in 2019, and you know, it's a much closer for me. You know, it's like one of those things where it's like, you know, it just never happened. And so finally I was able to go. And after years of just watching videos and all POVs of the coasters, and, you know, watching Millennium Force be built back when it was being built in the year 2000, you know, like, oh, it's going to be the first Giga coaster and all this excitement. Finally going there and just walking in, it still blew me away, because, you know, I thought I knew what to expect, but you come driving around the corner and it's out on that peninsula on the water, and you see the skyline, and you're just driving up, you're like, oh my, yeah, I cannot believe. And you start walking around and you start seeing, there's like, I know this ride, I know every element of this ride, but there it is. And just, I love that. So I'm excited. If you go, make sure you film yourself, because I would love to see your facial reactions on some of these rides, because yeah, it's just one of those things. And like, I guess Cedar Point, I know you're probably going to say all of them, but is there a certain ride there that you're looking forward to more than any others, or?
I've never been there, but that's a hard question already. I think, and there are some enthusiasts who already been there and told me, well, don't expect too much from it, but Millennium Force, because I think it's Goliath's big brother, our Goliath's big brother,
Right.
and obviously Steel Vengeance.
Yeah.
Yeah, and there's one, but I don't know if they converted it now. There's a stand-up coaster, right?
There used to be. It used to be called Mantis. It's now a sit-down coaster. It's called Rougarou now.
I always wanted to do a stand-up roller coaster. I never get the chance to do that.
Well, you got to come over to Six Flags Magic Mountain. We have the tallest, fastest, and longest of the Riddlers Revenge. It's still one of the last B&M actually probably one of the last stand-up from any manufacturer, I think, kind of going out there. It's great. It's definitely a unique experience to ride a stand-up coaster. Because you've got to figure out the correct way to ride it. If you don't ride it correctly.
But in the Netherlands, we're used to riding our bikes, so I don't think it would bother me too much.
Yes, that is one element. But there's also an element where people are in the bike position, and that's not good because it strains your legs, because the restraint, over the shoulder restraint, locks you in. And if you've got your legs bent like that, you're like trying to go through the G-forces with that. You're like, okay, you're doing a really good leg workout at that moment. Then there's the people who stand up too tall, and basically they're going to be tippy-toeing, squished, and then their tippy toes are just barely touching the floor. That's uncomfortable for another reason. But there is a secret. I'm going to let everybody in on the secret, if you don't already know it. People who've never been on a stand-up coaster, at least a B&M stand-up coaster, there's a moment there before they actually lock the restraints in, and they usually will call that over the PA system. So what you do is you kind of bend down just slightly, and then when you hear locking, kind of stand up a little bit higher, and you'll feel it lock. Then you can stand up, and you're in the most perfect position to ride a stand-up coaster.
That's how to do it. Now, you mentioned something when they do announcements. I see that in a lot of US parks, the operators do announcements through microphones. Hello, welcome back to the station. What do you think of that? Because I think it's pretty annoying.
I think there's two sides of it. One is, if you could invent a PA system that actually comes out clear, you will be a billionaire. Because it seems like every single, it's just
we have a few of them.
Like, why can't it be clear? But I also, at the same time, I think it's funny when a ride operator takes advantage of that, and it's also given permission to have fun with it. Cedar Point is one of these where they actually have a lot of fun with their PA system, where they kind of do some little jokes and things like that, interaction with the guests as you're getting on it. Oh, we lost Scott.
Oh,
we can still hear you though, Scott.
Yeah, I'm using a different microphone, but now I have to.
I see a little spinny circle.
I have to close down the app. Then I see I have 5 new emails, but that's not what it's about now. And I plug it back in, and then I start the app again. Yeah, it's a whole thing. Look, oh, that's you.
Hey, that's
Hello,
me.
You, yeah. And now I get to put it back in the thing I made from Knex.
Oh,
yeah.
Very resourceful. There's the fun fact about you. You are very resourceful with Connect. Very good.
Yeah. And now I'm going with the adult stuff, and I have to show you something. I have something really cool. Do you have something from do you have a roller coaster wheel or something in your house laying around?
John does.
Of course.
Oh yeah, you have a
grab
wheel.
it, John. Go grab what you got.
Go grab
what you got, and then we're going to compare who's got the best thing.
I can't really grab what I got.
Yes, you can.
Well,
yes, you can.
What do you want me to grab?
Just say it fell off of a truck.
Oh, that. Okay. All right. I thought you were talking about
let me grab mine.
Roller coaster.
Okay.
I can't carry that thing out here.
No, grab your bolt.
Here.
I'm showing it. Wait. I'm putting the things back in my ear. I think I'm the only person in the world who, let's wait till he's back.
Yeah, no problem.
He wants to see it. I know for sure. Oh, you can pick it up with one hand.
I don't know. That's what I'm saying.
Hey, some of the best things in life only fit in one hand. So
that's true. Well, show me what you got.
It's just the bolt from a
Oh,
certain ride.
this has bolts as well.
Yeah,
This is
that's what I
a piece of Untamed, a track piece.
Oh, look
That's
at
really
that.
cool. It's a piece
iBox
for the
track,
transfer
yeah.
track, and
But you
they had
definitely
to cut
did,
it
man.
short. So it's like
See, I have
this.
the bolt that's on your finger right now.
Yeah,
That's it. That's it. That's what I got.
and I'm really proud to have this because that's
That is
really cool.
great. That is fantastic.
And it's really heavy. And I'm all rusty now.
I think the only person that can rival something like that would be Sean Sandbrook from Theme Park World Ride right now. He's like basically
Yeah.
purchased like an entire theme park at this point. You know, it's like, I bought the weird pirate decoration on the top of this pirate ride that used to be at Thorpe Park. I'm like, what? Shout out to you, Sean. We love you, buddy.
Yeah, he's a great guy. I never met him, but his videos, his energy level is like, oh my god, what
Yes.
have you?
But no, I'll tell you, we've met him in person. He's came out here to Magic Mountain. We hung out. We actually interviewed him on our very first one-on-one interview ever was with Sean, and he has that much energy in real life, and he's just a very positive person. And it's kind of like you, Scott. It's very contagious. His excitement, his enthusiasm just makes you want to be around him because he's so enthusiastic. And that guy doesn't skip a beat. You tell him to go on camera, he won't even take a breath, and he'll just perfect right to the end. I mean, I said, you got a second career if you ever wanted to be like a news reporter or something like that.
And you guys are almost alike in the fact that your most anticipated coasters in the U.S. for launch coasters. His was Superman. Remember, he loves Superman. Like,
he loves Superman.
All the rides at Magic Mountain, that was his favorite.
Yeah,
I can imagine because for me I've never been there obviously, but for me that's a classic already because you had those documentaries about roller coasters on the Discovery Channel, and Superman was always on that's a launch, and when you're up there and they were holding a tennis ball, look, it's floating, and that was really cool to see. So I can understand why.
Yeah, no, it is one of those things where you kind of take advantage of what you've got. You know, if you've been on it so many times, you kind of forget about someone who's riding it or experiencing something like that for the first time. And it really, when he was talking about his one being one of his favorites, takeaways, it made me take a moment to step back and really think about it. Go, you know, you're right. You're sitting backwards. You're launching at 100 miles an hour. As you transition, you're watching the ground go away from you. There's nothing really like that out there, except for, wait a minute, Lost Gravity, now with their seat backwards, is kind of like that.
Well, it doesn't have the seats backwards. We did that once, for testing purposes, and I was the lucky one too, right? And I hope someday that will become reality. But it was really cool, and it's especially Lost Gravity, because I did like 300 rides on Lost Gravity, and the coaster inside out. But when you turn around the seat, you just can't place what's it's just weird when you ride it backwards. It's really crazy. So yeah, that was really cool.
I just love the innovation of thinking of like that. I mean, because that's going back to Superman. You know, Superman was originally forward, and just turning the thing backwards made it just a whole new experience. And I hope that Lost Gravity ends up doing that. And I know that, what is it? DC Rivals
is built like that too.
Oh, that's right. West Coast Racers and
Premier trains can be reversed,
which would be awesome, like say during Halloween or something. But then I know that DC Rivals coaster in Australia has a backward seat, and they're going to do like a rotating seat or something. No, that's Silver Star. Which I don't know.
DC Rival in I think at that park, all their trains have the back car turned backwards. I'm not sure, but
is that an Intamin? Yeah, that's an Intamin coaster.
It's a mock.
I think it was.
It's a mock. Yeah.
It's a mock, yeah. So like I was saying earlier, like I love just this day and age of coaster design. They're really trying to push the elements and trying to make something new. And you've got this this Axis coaster, I'm sure you saw from SNS worldwide, or SNS Sensei. That's unique. And then you've got the surf coaster, whatever this is going to be, the surf coaster, or I don't know.
I'm just imagining with that, like Riddlers turned to the side.
Like a stand-up coaster where you're standing on maybe it's like a wing coaster and you're standing. I don't know.
Maybe I'm wrong, but that's what I'm thinking.
I don't know.
Let me see what's happening with the camera now, because now it's freezing all the time.
Yes, you are frozen, but you're frozen in a very attractive pose.
So thank you.
So again, speaking of making lemonade out of lemons, that's better than being stuck with like a
No, this is.
Yes,
there we are. And this has a wide angle lens too, so you can now see my ugly floor.
Now I can see your studio.
So do you create music? Is that
no? This is just.
You got going on?
This was I was a kids DJ for a while, and I had a DJ setup here, and that's why this room is like this. But
I don't know if you can see here. I'll show you real quick. Look right here.
Oh, nice.
Yeah,
is that a llama?
Tractor S4.
But he wanted to know the sticker. Was it a llama?
Oh yeah. It's a llama Dia de los Burros. It's actually a friend of mine's little thing. I don't actually even know what it means, to be honest.
But there you go, Scott. That's now two fun facts about you, that you used to be a hits DJ. I mean, come on, this is great. We're finding out some really fun information about our good friend Scott Bravenboer. But am I saying that last name right? I know it.
No, you're saying it just fine, but it's fun to hear Bravenboer.
Bravenboer. Do you not roll the R?
Yeah, it's great.
Okay. Is it more the gut? Is it bra or is it bra?
It's the Bravenboer. It's the
Bravenboer. Ooh, okay, Bravenboer.
There you go. That's it.
Ich kann
the ambassador.
The ambassador. That's some good English. That's some good American right there.
The ambassador.
My ambassador. Well, I think when I kind of a tangent, when I lived in Germany for a little while, we used to do that for fun. Because like for me, it was the most important to try to not know as many words so much as try to not sound like I was from the United States. I wanted to try to trick people. You can get around not knowing words. Like I could just say something like, hey, can you give me that? Instead of, could you give me the aluminum can of, And so it was important for me to change that accent. But then just for fun, every now and then, I would go around with the strongest Texan accent, speaking German, just for fun. Like, there's like, Guten Tag, ich komme aus Texas. For all those European listeners are probably laughing right now.
We used to do it when we we visited Orlando many times, and one of the questions every Disney employee always asks, "Oh, where are you from?"
Yeah,
that's a standard question, I guess. But we made a sport out of it to choose another "Where are you from?" answer every time someone asks. So, no, we're from Georgia. Yeah, we know from the song "Last Train to Georgia." Yeah, we're from Georgia. And they were, what's the temperature there? And we had no clue where Georgia was, what temperature it was.
Because of Fahrenheit as well. You're like, oh shoot.
Now I don't know.
You're like 300. You're like,
yeah.
We don't know Fahrenheit. No, that's true. No, that's funny. I'm going to steal that. That's funny. I'd love to do that. Like, so that accent, that's a Georgian accent? Of course, a small little town of Georgia. We all talk like this. I like that a lot. So how many theme parks have you visited in the world?
I'm not a credit counter, or I have no list of all the parks I visited, but in Europe a lot. Mm-hmm. In the US a few. I've been to Busch Gardens, Williamsburg, and all the parks in Orlando. Outside of Europe, I think that was it for outside of Europe, but in Europe, a lot. Like you probably never heard of it. I went to Tripsdrill.
Yeah, Tripsdrill. Yeah, I know.
Oh, you know? Oh, yeah, you've been to Germany, of course. Well, yeah, they have a log flume with bathtubs.
That's right. The bathtub one. Yeah, I've heard of that. Yeah.
So that a lot. I'm not, traveling all the world to ride roller coasters, but I love to go there one day to all the parks. But but my favorite park outside, of course, of Walibi would be Europa Park in Germany.
Yeah.
That's I think one of the best parks in the world as far as I've visited, because it's beautiful, it's laid back, it's they have great rides, they sell wine and beer on every corner on the street. It's just it's just an awesome day. So I think that's one of the best theme parks I've ever been to.
Yeah, I've heard about that about Europa Park, and I guess Phantasialand is a little bit like that too.
But Phantasialand is more a one-day destination, and Europa Park you have to go at least 2 days to
because it's just
experience
big.
it. Yeah.
Right. So I'm going to steal a little bit. Like I said, I was telling you earlier, I had a good time listening to your podcast over at Coaster Bots with Harry and Zoe there. And they asked you if you had unlimited resources and unlimited funds, what ultimate coaster would you build? And he said, I don't want to answer for you, but he said you'd build an RMC, the world's tallest RMC with the Zadra type lift hill, which would be just awesome. But I'm gonna pose the question a little bit differently. If you could create the ultimate theme park amusement park, what would it be?
It would be something around a lake, a big lake in the middle and different areas around it, but not your typical areas. No IPs and no Western villages, no Asian villages or that, but just unique places you get to visit. And I think every area has to be completely immersive. So all the food has to match the theme. The sound, the smells, every area has to have its own unique smell. Like, you know, when you go on a Disney ride, you remember the smell of the Pirates of the Caribbean. You have to remember the smell of every area, and every night there has to be a fireworks show, like in Epcot. It's all, you know, like World Showcase. I think I would build something like that, but then really, really big and elaborate. And I think, but that's something I want to do myself one day, is having a hotel or multiple hotels inside the actual park. So the gates don't close for hotel guests. You can stay there all night. You walk out the hotel at 3 a.m. in the morning. You can walk around the park. The music is still playing on the background. Yeah. I think that's a really unique thing I would build. Yeah, and I would make it really expensive because I want to make a lot of money.
You got to get a return on your investment.
Yeah, because it would probably be really expensive to build.
You're operating 24 hours a day. You got to make something.
Yeah, that's right. You know? To all of our billionaire fans of our channel, contact Scott. He's got some great ideas for you. No, I like that idea. You know, I've always thought that. Like, I like that they've, at least at Disney World, they have the Cinderella's castle. That's, you know, the experience. You know, it's hard to get that room, but it's neat that it's right there in the middle of the park. I think that would be a great idea. You have some sort of theming or something like that, and you know. To where you'd be able to stay there, like that would be really cool. Yeah, actually.
Yeah, I think that's really fun because there's in Disney World you have the one room in Cinderella Castle where you can sleep one night and sleep in the castle. That must be amazing. So to offer that experience to a lot of people, yeah, you can sleep in the park. Oh, really? Yeah, especially we keep the lights on for you.
Especially if it was themed, like, you know, like. You get to stay at like a volcano or something like that. That would be
really cool.
That would be
really cool. Sometimes when there are enthusiasts around, just at night, just start up a roller coaster and let them have an hour of an ERT. And why not? It's there.
Yeah, they paid for the room.
Yeah.
So there you go. No more fake facade buildings. Make those facades functional hotel rooms. And you'll make a lot of money. You owe Scott $1 for that idea. Very, very good idea. Well, Scott, again, we just wanted to thank you so much for taking your time. I know it's a little bit late over there, a bit of a time difference, but we're very grateful.
I was checking the time. I was like, yeah, I have to get up at 7, but that's fine.
It's still nice and sunny outside.
Here it's not.
But no, again, thank you so much for taking the time. I know it's a little tricky with the time difference, but very, very grateful to have you on our show. It's been a pleasure. Definitely a bucket list guest for us.
Thank you, Scott.
You are very, like I said, you're a person that I admire because of your enthusiasm and that I want to emulate. So,
Stop it.
But no. Real quick, why don't you why don't you throw out your social medias where people can find you?
So I'm most active on Instagram, and that would be Scott B19. Is it 68 or 86? 86. 1986. Can't be 1986 because I was born in the Netherlands. In 1986. 86. Yeah, I'm 33, my God.
82 here. I'm 4 years ahead of you.
1979.
So let's end it there.
Let's end it there. Let's start counting our gray hairs.
I painted. No, no.
No, but so guys, everybody, if you haven't checked out Scott from Walibi Holland's video series, check those out. You can find him on YouTube. Check out his Instagram. Just an absolute addictive personality that you just will not want to stop watching his great videos.
Amazing content.
Amazing content. Great guest. Thank you again, Scott.
And if you ever visit the Netherlands, and that goes for you, but everyone who ever visits the Netherlands, obviously come to Walibi and go to all theme parks, but go into the country, go see something which you would normally not go to. So don't go to Amsterdam, don't go to Rotterdam, just drive somewhere for 15 minutes, take an exit on the highway and go see how living in the Netherlands is, because it is really great here. It's already great here. We don't have to make it great. It's already great. So look. What was that? So no, just have a look around how life here in the Netherlands is, and it's not so crazy to take a bicycle sometime.
That's what I say. Get out of your car, go ride a bike, go check out the countryside. Beautiful. I have been there. It's a wonderful place. But while you're there, just start asking people to find Scott Bravenboer. And
they probably say, who?
And he'll let you sleep at his house. He'll get you to the park for free. Oh, wait, no, wait. No, again, thank you so much, Scott. We appreciate you coming on. And let us know in the comments who you'd like to see us interview next. We're very open to have any and all enthusiasts. Are you a big channel? Are you a small channel? Doesn't matter to us. We're all enthusiasts together. We all share the same passion. Reach out to us at Theme Park ERT on Gmail. And on behalf of John, Days Can Blaze, Scott Bravenboer from Walibi Holland, and also All Things Cool in the Netherlands. Not Nederlands, Nederland. Nederlands is the language. It's the language. Land, it's the country. I've been the ambassador.
He knows how it works. It's great. Bedankt voor het kijken en hoi hoi.
Hoi hoi. I've been the ambassador, and this has been your Theme Park ERT. Wow.
Bye.